Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Maths Home Learning. First of all, before we begin, if you just want to pause the video and look over the answers from yesterday's worksheets. Okay, so let's get going. I just want to do a very quick review of some of what we did yesterday. Okay, so I've got our blocks here, and I just want to speak about what they represent, both as fractions and as decimals. So we have our large yellow block here, our large flat yellow block, and I would like you to pause the video and just write down what you think these represent. Okay, so let's just go through these quickly. The large flat yellow block, as a fraction, we can write this down as 1/10. We would need 10 of them to make a whole, which is the same as 0.1 as a decimal. Okay, the long blue blocks, we would need 10 of these to make the large yellow, and we need 100 to make a whole, so we call that 1/100th. Which as a decimal equals 0.01. And the last one, we have our small green block. We would need 10 of these to make the long blue one. We would need 100 of these to make the large flat yellow one, and we would need 1,000 to make our whole cube, our whole number 1. So we call this 1,000th, which is the same as 0.001 written as a decimal. These are going to be really important again in today's lesson and throughout the whole unit on decimals. So without further ado, today's learning objective is reading and writing decimals. Our non-negotiables are that pupils can identify the value of a set of place value blocks using decimal numbers, similar to what we did to yesterday. And pupils can say what each block represents. Okay, so let's have a look at what we're going to do. The in focus task, we've got our block here again. We know that stands for 1. What does one long block and 5 small blocks stand for? What does that stand for? Well, let's have a quick think about what these each represent. We've already done the long block this morning. We know that that stands for 1/100th, and that equals 0.01. The 5 small blocks, well, we also know already that one of these small blocks is 1/1000th, but we've got 5 of them, so that's 5/1000ths, and that's the same as 0.005. Okay, so that's 1/100th, 0.01, 5/1000ths, 0.005. So we need to add these together. We can do this. We've got it down here. We can see that 0.01 plus 0.005, I don't like the bold, is the same as 0.015. Okay, so we've got our decimal. I also want to write this down, okay? So we're going to write this in words. We would have it as 15 thousandths. 15 thousandths, okay? So we go to the last box in our place value column. We see what the number is. Sorry, we see what these two digits are together. They make 15, and we know that's 15 thousandths. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Let's look at another way. Pink Top has done it in a bit of a different way. She's seen that if we take the long block, we can break that into 10 parts. We can break it into 10 parts, and that's what she's done here. She's broken it into 10 parts, and she's seen that those, again, make, I can make this, 0.015 or 15 thousandths. Okay, you can see that she's taken these blocks here and she's broken this one into 10 individual ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes 1/100th. And then there's still 5 left over, 5 thousandths left over, and she's added them together. And we've got 0.015 or 15 thousandths. Okay, so just remember when you're saying or writing these decimals, when you're writing these decimals and saying them as fractions, we say 15 thousandths, we go to the last column and we use that column. And there it is, 15 thousandths. Okay. What we're going to have a go at now, just as we did a bit of yesterday, is using the blocks to find out what our decimals are. So the first two here, they've given us the fractions, they've given us the blocks, and they've given us the fractions. And we're going to add these all together, and we're going to write it as a decimal, and we're going to write it in words. So those are our two tasks. Okay? I'm going to do the first one, and then I want you to have a go at the second one. Let's have the bold off, please. Doesn't seem to want to. Okay. Make that smaller. So we can see we have two of the long blocks. We know that that is 2/100ths. We've got that written there. We've got 4 of the small blocks, which make 4/1000ths. So we're adding 2/100ths to 4/1000ths. So we know that these don't make a whole. They don't make the whole 1000 block, which represents one whole. So we put 0 because it's not a whole part. Point. We don't have here any tenths. We don't have the large flat blocks made up of 10 of these. We don't have any of those, so we've just got a 0 in our tenths column. You'll remember that from the lesson yesterday. We do have hundredths. We've got 2 of them. 2/100ths. And we do have thousands. We've got 4 of them. So we can write our decimal number as 0.024. Now we've got to write this as, sorry, we've got to write down this fraction. I'm confused. We've got to write down this decimal, okay? Well, we know that we've got 1,000, so we have to go to there, to that column, and we have to think that this will be 24 thousandths. Okay, so 0.024 equals 24 thousandths. Not thousands, thousandths. Remember, if you're writing this, you have to put THS on the end. It's plural. Okay, I've done that one for you. I'd now like you to have a go at this one. Pause your video and have a go at it, please. Okay, so can we make a whole? No, we can't. Do we have any tenths? Flat blocks? No, we don't. Again, we do have 3 100ths. So we can put our 3 there, and we do also have 3 1,000ths. So our decimal is 0.033. So how will we write that as a fraction? We can say it as 33 thousandths. Okay. Now, these two are a bit different. They haven't given you the fractions. Okay, so I'd like you to have a go. I'd like you to write this fraction number sentence, add them up, and then give me the decimal and the fraction in its written form. Okay, so the number sentence with the fractions, the decimal, and the number in its written form. I'll pause the video and try that out, please. Okay, so let's look through this. Again, we don't have any tenths. We don't have any large flat pieces. We do have how many hundredths? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can write that fraction as 5 100ths. We're adding them together with how many thousandths? Well, I can see we've just got 1 here. So that's plus 1 thousandth. What does this equal as a decimal number? Well, again, we don't have a whole. We can't make a whole 1 out of these pieces. We don't have enough. So we start with our 0. We put our decimal point. We don't, again, have any tenths, but we do have 5 hundredths. So we put that in our hundredths column. And we do have 1 thousandth. So we put that in our thousandths column. That equals 51 thousandths. Okay. Try this one on your own. Pause the video and have a go. So you'll notice that this one is a little bit different. All of the blocks are the same. They are all thousandths. So actually here, we don't have to do any adding of hundredths and thousandths, or tenths and thousandths, because we've only got thousandths. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can write that as a fraction as 6. 6 dash dash 6 thousandths. As a decimal, we can write as 0.006, and in its written form, we can write 6 thousandths. We haven't had to do any addition between our fractions there. We've just seen we've got 6 thousandths. We can convert that into decimals as 0.006, and it's 6 thousandths. All right, okay. The guided practice, again, very helpfully, they've given us the block that stands for 1. This one's similar to yesterday and similar to the one we've just done. You need to find what number does each of these show? What decimal number does each of these show? So let's just go through A quickly together, because I think you'll be able to do that anyway. We can see that there are 4 blocks of 1,000th. What's he asking us to do? He's asking yellow shirt is asking us to write each number as a decimal, then write it in words. So we don't even have to do it as a fraction here. We can just do the decimal 0.004. That's 4 thousandths. The other ones are a bit different. You do have to add bits up. So I'd like you to try those ones out yourself. Number 2, you have to use these different digits to fill in the 2 blanks. So have a go at those, please. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's just go through those answers quickly. B, we've got 200th blocks, no tenths, 200th blocks, and 4,000th blocks. We have 0.024 and 24 thousandths. C, we can't make a whole. We don't have any tenths. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4 hundredths. We don't have any thousandths. So I put that, do I? No, we don't have any thousandths, so we don't have to add them on. And this one will be written as 4 hundredths. A bit different to the other ones we've done so far. There's no thousandths on the end of this one on C, so we just have to write hundredths with ED, EDTHS. There we go. Okay, number 2. This one was interesting, actually. You could have had quite a few different combinations. I won't go through all of them, but you could have had, for example, 0.021 equals 1 thousandths. You could have had 0.001 equals 1 thousandth. We don't add the S on the end because there's only 1 thousandth. It's not plural, so no on the S on the end of that one. Or you could have had 0.12 equals 12 thousandths. Again, there were various combinations that you could have used there. So as long as you had as long as you had a combination where you were using at least one of these, 2 of these digits, then that would be fine. Okay, so for today's task, you need to be completing worksheet 2, page 3 and 4. That will be attached on the PDF. Also, there will be a quiz that I want you to complete on the EEDI, very snappily named EEDI website. I think I prefer to call it ED, but EEDI will also do. So I'd like you to complete those 2 pieces of work. Remember, on the EEDI website, you can give your reasons for why you've answered something. Don't just put because I know it. Give me your thought out reasons, as that will really help me, Mr. Turnham, think about if there's any issues we need to look at in the coming lessons. Okay, thank you very much, Denim and Calico, and I'll see you again for tomorrow's lesson.